Yo, what's up? This your boy Dante coming to you with another episode of Keeping It a Buck. Look, this conversation I'm gonna have tonight, look, it's going to be controversial. It's going to make people feel some type of way, but that's my intention. I want you to think about it. I want you to feel some type of way. I'm going to talk about gay pride. Yeah, this is quote unquote gay pride month, right? We're going to talk about that. And I'm telling you, any kind of pride is not good. There are so many people right now suffering because of pride. So when you hear people run this thing with this gay pride stuff and they pushing it and they making it look so glamorous and so fun, I'm telling you, the Bible says this that pride is the way to destruction. So the thing is that when you have pride, it comes before a fall. So you got to remove that pride and be honest and say this is what we are. So I'm going to talk about gay pride. I'm going to talk about the things that the news don't tell you because look, I think I'm an expert in this. I lived in the lifestyle 25 years of my 41 years of living. I lived in that lifestyle. And I still, being honest with y'all, man, I still struggle, with the devil trying to put things in my mind and make things seem a certain way. I have to battle that in prayer. And so that's the reason why I'm so vocal. Now, before we go into any of this content, I need y'all to do me a favor. Like, share, comment, subscribe. And the brother thanks you for doing that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just keeping it a buck with you. And so we're going to talk about President Biden and the order that he signed. I didn't even know about it. I don't know if I've been hiding on the rock or what, um, but now that I know, I'm going to expose it. And I'm going to show you how he's hypocritical. And I'm going to say this too to the heterosexual community: stop being hypocrites, because at the end of the day, it does not matter if a person is in homosexuality or if they're shacking as a heterosexual or if they having premarital sex as a heterosexual. At the end of the day, real talking, I know I said the end of the day a lot, but I'm just saying when it's all finished, no sin, none, not mine, not yours, your grandma's, your uncle's, your best friends, is going to enter the kingdom of heaven. And so this is a thing that we have to take in consideration and stop being hypocrites. So it's like, do as I say and not as I do. But then when the LGBTQ community come around and do the same thing, we feel some type of way. Something wrong with that picture for me. So I'm just telling you at the end of the day, and I got to stop saying that. I got to work on my got to work on that. I'm gonna work on it, y'all. But for real, when it's all said and done, we got to really, really think about where we are and where we're going as a civilization and what is happening. Anytime somebody gets off drugs, it's celebrated. Anytime someone does something that is detrimental to their life and they correct that, people celebrate it. But I noticed something in the LGBTQ community is that anytime a person like myself say they done with the lifestyle, they walking away from it, then they automatically say that's a bad thing. I don't understand that. I was at the doctor's yesterday and the doctor asked me a question while I was there. She said, "Are you gay, straight, or bi?" I said, "Well, I'm straight." I said I lived in a lifestyle, and I was gay for 25 plus years. Well, this is what she says. Well, you could just go ahead and just be who you are. No, I know who I am. See, the thing is, I never had the affirmation of who I was until I began to read a love book and a love story called the Bible. And I know a lot of people think the Bible is hateful. Nah, the Bible is about correction, because God loves us so much that he wants to correct us. He don't want us to stay in the shape that we're in. So I'm telling you this, you do not have to stay the way you are. If you own drugs, if you own crack, if you drink alcohol, if you batterer, whatever it is, you don't have to stay the way that you are. If you was hurt as a child, if you was molested as a child, you don't have to let that rule your life. Because I'm telling you, as a man, allowed that to rule my life for a long time. And I was looking for dad in any man I could that would really give me any attention. Yeah, I did orgies. Yeah, I did threesomes and foursomes. And I'm gonna tell you one thing about the LGBTQ that they won't really tell you is that they holler this thing all the time, and we hear it all the time that love is love. Let me tell you something. One thing about love is that it should not be equated with lust. One thing I knew about living in a lifestyle was that my lust was never satisfied. When I first started out, it was one person, and then that person, that wasn't enough, and I just had to keep going on and on to where even I was having, orgies with men and women. because I was trying to find a way to get satisfied. But one thing about lust is never satisfied. So every time they run around here and they holler this statement right here, love is love, I have to push back on that, because love will make you do right. Love will make you respect yourself. Love will say, you know what? God is love, since they always holler that. God is love. Then if God is love, do what God says. That's just my opinion. Now, again, people may say you super religious or you super deep. One thing this brother is not is religious. I understand about having a relationship with the Most High by way of Jesus Christ, and that has changed my life. I realized that even on my days when I struggle, because I have not fed that demon in 7 years, I've seen that the things that I would normally do, I'm not doing anymore. It's not because of me, it's because of him. So we're going to show some things about President Biden, how he kind of did a 180, and how he kind of flipped the strip. We're going to talk about the law that he put into position. We also going to talk about the rainbow flag that they have for gay pride, and we're going to show you the difference between the two. And also we're going to show you in 2019, because 2020 everything was kind of shut down, so we're going to have to go back to 2019, I'm sorry, and show you how things upticked during the time of Gay Pride Month. And the thing is, I don't think that most people want to hurt gay people, because like I say, you could be gay and still succeed. And I think that what we're seeing right now is that they're telling you that because people are quote unquote hating on gays, and because quote unquote people are shaming gays, that they can't become the person or the people they want to be. I disagree with that. We have, Clive Davis. We know that he came out, eventually said he was bisexual, man paid. We know Lil Nas X, he came out with, I believe it's Old Town Road. Before he even said what he did in his bedroom and put it out there, his music was being sold. People was listening to it. So there's a lot of facets where people are in the LGBTQ community that are successful, but they want to make you think that because everybody has their own opinion, which they should, that they're hating on these people. I don't hate gay people. I don't hate people that's on crack. I don't hate people that drink alcohol. Now, I do kind of have a strong disdain for pedophiles. I can't stand them. And so what we don't understand is that this rabbit hole that we're going down, opening all this stuff for the LGBTQ community, is that it's going to make it where the pedophiles are like, well, we got rights too. That don't make sense to me. Like I said, again, what you do in your bedroom is your business. You don't see that them running around here saying, let's have a straight month, for straight Pride Month. I'm just being honest with you. Pride is a problem. Pride is a problem. Pride won't even let people know that you're sick. I know so many people that's died with AIDS and cancer and every kind of disease and everything you could think of, or die by suicide, because they would not allow pride to be halted, and they let humility come in and tell people what they was really going through. That's why I'm so transparent. I have nothing to gain by telling people what I've been through, but then again, I do. Because there's so many people that don't know. You don't understand the torment. You don't understand the shame that I had to go through. And now I'm at a point now, like, hey, if they could be gay and proud, I could be ex-gay and proud. That's just the way I feel. No, that's just the way it is. So we're going to go to Joe Biden real quick. President Joe Biden. And let's hear what he had to say back in
used his radio address yesterday and tomorrow in the Rose Garden to talk about a constitutional amendment to ban gay marriage.
Think about this. The world's going to Hades in a handbasket. We are desperately concerned about the circumstance relating to avian flu. We don't have enough vaccines. We don't have enough police officers. And we're going to debate the next 3 weeks, I'm told, gay marriage, a flag amendment, and God only knows what else. I can't believe the American people can't see through this. We already have a law, the Defense of Marriage Act, where we've all voted, not where I voted and others said, look, marriage is between a man and a woman, and states must respect that. Nobody's violated that law. There's been no challenge to that law. Why do we need a constitutional amendment? Marriage is between a man and a woman. What's the game going on here? And
the president used his radio address yesterday and tomorrow in the Rose Garden to talk about a constitutional amendment.
Yo, let me tell you this. You heard President Joe Biden say it himself. He said that, there should be no constitutional law that's going against marriage. And again, when you think about marriage, you're thinking about where a man and a woman becomes one. I don't care what nobody tell you. A man and a man cannot become one. That doesn't make sense. A woman and a woman cannot become one because it doesn't make sense. It makes sense the way God did it. He designed it that way for a reason. So we had President Biden at one time that was very strong. And that's why I don't understand how we could be so hypocritical, because this man, who is now the president of the United States, was able to say something like this, and it's all forgiven. This is the same man that, eulogized a KKK member. This is the same man that, was basically equating black people to roaches. This is the same man that said that if you don't vote for him, you ain't black. This is the same man that was saying that when he was at a pool, that little kids just rub on his legs. Come on now. Just not calling him a pedophile, but it just looked pedophile-ish, if that's a word. So this is where we're moving to. Now, let me show you Joe Biden in 2012. He did about face on us. Let's go.
Said that his views on gay marriage, on same-sex marriage, have evolved, but he's opposed to it. You're opposed to it. Have your views evolved?
Look, I just think that the good news is that as more and more Americans come to understand what this is all about is a simple proposition. Who do you love? Who do you love? And will you be loyal to the person you love? And that's what people are finding out is what all marriages at their root are about. Whether they're marriages of lesbians or gay men or heterosexuals.
Is that what you believe now?
That's what I believe.
And you're comfortable with same-sex marriage now?
Look, I am Vice President of the United States of America. The President sets the policy. I am absolutely comfortable with the fact that men marrying men, women marrying women, and heterosexual men and women marrying women are entitled to the same exact rights, all the civil rights, all the civil liberties. And quite frankly, I don't see much of a distinction beyond that.
In a second term, will this administration come out behind same-sex marriage, the institution of marriage?
I can't speak to that. I don't know the answer to that, but I can tell you.
But it sounds like you'd like to see it happen if that's where the president would get to.
The president continues to fight, whether it's don't ask, don't tell, or whether it is making sure across the board that you cannot discriminate. Look at the executive orders he's put in place. Any hospital that gets federal funding, which is almost all of them, they can't deny a partner from being able to have access to their partner's will or making the call on whether or not they, it's just, this is evolving. And by the way, my measure, David, and I take a look at when things really begin to change, is when the social culture changes. I think Will and Grace probably did more to educate the American public.
Yo, let me pause it real quick because I really want to kind of point some things out that he said. This is my thing. Don't we have, where people can have, control over your life if you go ahead and just sign a document, basically saying that, hey, this person has power of attorney over my affairs. So there's more than one way to make things happen where people can have access to your personal information besides quote unquote getting married. These are the nuances that people don't pay attention to. And like I said, again, for me, I would never, ever, ever, even when I was in lifestyle, never, ever, ever thought or contemplated marrying a man because I knew that wasn't happening. Never did I contemplate saying, hey, I can adopt a child and me and this man can raise a child together. Again, I am very firm on, I believe in a child need a mother and a father. Definitely need a father. We definitely need that discipline aspect. And then we need that nurturing aspect. And I think that a lot of mothers have became friends with their children and daddy is out there trying to be a hoe, that he's not really concerned about his child. And then you have people like, Dwayne Wade that's coming out with his son and basically affirming whatever he feels. See, what I've understood about my life is that I'm not what I feel, I am who I am. My feelings change from moment to moment, but yet and still we have these transgenders that can run around here and say that they are male or female because they went through a transition, but I can't go out here and tell everybody I'm white. If I told everybody I was white or if I was Latino, people look at me and laugh. They're like, dude, ain't no way. Look at you. You're too dark. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes down to it, you could bleach your skin. It's just like I would equate this with the transgender movement, is that you can bleach your skin and you could become, quote, go from black to white like Michael Jackson kind of did. But guess what? When they do DNA, when Dana speaks, it's going to say that that person is who they are. So don't get caught up in the hype of, I don't want nobody mad at me. No matter what you do, I don't figure it out. You could do 100 things and you could do 99 of those 100 things great. There's going to be that one or maybe more that's going to have a problem with it. So what I've learned to do is be authentically me. And that's why I'm so transparent about even the days where I have weaknesses, because every day ain't a strong day. And that's just like when I drink alcohol, when I smoke weed, all those things, when I go through troubles, you think those things don't come back in my mind. But I realized the way it was destroying me and the way it was changing my mind and my viewpoints on what I knew to be right. And so we're going to talk about morals. We got to understand that the golden rule that everybody want to pick and choose from the Bible, where it says, do unto others, you have them do unto you. Look, just because you gay don't mean I'm going to be rude to you, mean to you. Just because you're on crack doesn't mean I'm going to be mean and hateful to you. But it's okay for you to call somebody a crackhead or to call them a dope fiend. But if you say something about the LGBTQ community in a derogatory statement, it's a problem. I think that's so hypocritical. But let Joe Biden finish saying what he got to say so I can go ahead and get him up off my screen, because I'm kind of like done with him. So let me go back to, let me see here.
Than almost anything anybody's ever done so far. And I think people fear that which is different. Now they're beginning to understand. They're beginning to understand that this as its base.
Let me say, I had to stop him again because I get so sick of these people talking about homophobes. Listen, in order to have a phobia, that means you have to be scared of people. People are not scared of gay people. Let me put that on record. People are not scared of gay people. What they don't want is, if that's not what they are, they don't want to have to deal with that. This is why we see so many transgenders and so many people of the LGBT community being hurt and harmed, which I don't agree with violence at all. But you see why they're being harmed, because you're trying to deceive people. If you come through the door, I've realized that back in my day when I was dealing with men, in most cases, I came through the front door and told them this is what it is, this is what I want. And they could either accept or reject. When they rejected it, I accepted that. I didn't go around here saying, well, you know what, I'm gonna try to dress up like a woman and try to confuse you and fool you. That doesn't make sense. Somebody had put a rumor out there, you know what I'm saying, that I was out there doing drag. Look, I ain't never did drag. Now, I will say this, and I wrote it in my book, where I had let one of my friends put makeup on my face, which I immediately took off because I was like, man, I don't like this look. This doesn't feel good to me. And so, and I knew this wasn't me. I just knew that I was in a battle. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. This is why people are committing suicide, because they're in a battle. They're in between wanting to know how to live, but then not knowing how to live. And then when they listen to the enemy of their soul tell them, look, just go ahead and end your life because nothing's going to change. If I thought that way, if I felt that way, trust and believe I will be dead. I did many times. I did about 3 or 4 times when I tried to commit suicide. One time I took a bunch of Tylenol PMs. I slept for like 3 days. What I did is messed up my system inside my stomach. And when I went to the hospital, it was like, maybe it was a blessing and a curse at the same time, where I did all that to my system. I went to the hospital telling them that my stomach was hurting really bad. Come to find out my appendix had ruptured for 3 days. Now, more people say, well, okay, well, Mackenzie or Dante, that should have been a sign that you need to leave that alone. No, I got out the hospital from having a major surgery, had about 52 staples down my stomach, went home and got right back in the bed with a man. That's what I did. See, most people ain't gonna keep it a buck like that, but I am. Okay, then in 2002, I end up in the hospital, running a temperature of 106 for about 5 days. They did every test known to man, HIV, meningitis, they did it all. Nothing came back wrong. My mom and my sisters and brothers came up to the hospital and they prayed for me. And they said, you know what? It's up to you at this point. It's up to you. Now, you don't know too many people that live with 106 temperature running, but 4 or 5 days and they not die. You would think that after that happened, that I would leave the lifestyle alone. Again, that didn't happen. Got to the hospital, got better, and a couple months after, I'm back messing with men. Until 2013, when my good friend, and like I said, because we was both in lifestyle together, that didn't mean anything. We didn't sleep together. We was just friends. When he died, that was a pivotal moment for me, because I looked at him and said, but for the grace of God, there go I. So this is the thing, and this dude had so much pride to where even when the doctor gave him medicines that was working, this dude refused to take them, because some people get more attention from being down and out and they feel some type of way. They feel like they get more attention that way. But I would rather get attention for being healed and healthy and whole. I'd rather get attention for that. So that was a pivotal moment for me. Now, from 2013 to 2014, there was some hiccups, where in 2013, I was like, I'm going to make this a decision. I'm not messing with no more men. And throughout 2013, even after my friend died, I slept with a couple more men. But it was in 2014 when I said, this is it. This is not working for me. Because the thing that was supposed to make me so happy, and like we see all these, people running around here so happy and full of glee and just, like everything is wonderful. They make it look so well and so beautiful. But I'm telling you, pride in any instance is detrimental, and it will destroy you. When you got so much pride to where you don't even come to God and say, God, you are the creator. You created me. Show me my flaws. Show me the defects. Show me how to correct those things. You got so much pride that you won't even go to the one that created you to ask him how you could change. It's a problem for me. It's a problem for me. So let me go back to Resident Biden real quick.
I was speaking to a group of gay leaders in Los Angeles two weeks ago. And one gentleman looked at me in the question period and said, let me ask you, how do you feel about us? And I had just walked into the back door of this gay couple, and there were their two adopted children. And I turned to the man who owned the house. I said, what did I do when I walked in? He said, you walked right to my children. They were 7 and 5 and giving you flowers. And I said, I wish every American could see the look of love those kids had in their eyes for you guys, and they wouldn't have any doubt about what this is about.
Now, let me tell you this, is at the end of the day, I believe, because even when I was in the lifestyle, my mom, she told me constantly she loved me. She told me that all the time. And I didn't understand, how can you love me, but yet and still you want to accept me for quote unquote who I am? At the end of the day, when I got older and I began to realize that she loved me enough to say, I want you to be my son. That's what God let me birth you as, my son. And I just got a note from her the other day, and she was telling me how proud she is of me and how, she's seen the growth. And I honor God for that, man. It's not to get no brownie points, but it just really made me feel good. And it showed me that she did love me, even when she told me the truth. Listen, people telling you the truth doesn't mean hate. People telling you the truth doesn't mean they don't love you. And I think that's the misconception that is being perpetuated throughout this whole movement. They always talking about civil rights, but some kind of way, I don't understand how is it that when we had the Civil Rights Act in, I believe, 1964, 65, is that there was supposed to be racism was the thing that they used, but it's like women and the LGBTQ community is winning off of it. Black people really not. And I guess because Black people are in that movement, then I guess they feel like they're helping Black people, but I digress. I'm going to tell you this, and then I'm going to go to a few slides I want to show you to kind of, show you what I was talking about the difference between the flag God put in the sky and the flag that the rainbow people use. And when I say the rainbow people, I mean the LGBTQ AI plus, whatever they call. I don't think that people will have a problem. And I think that churches, we fail gay people and people that are struggling. We fail them by basically saying that if you're this way, you can't be in church. No, you want them in church. And I think where the problem lies is when we have the LGBTQ trying to infiltrate and trying to become the Lord of, or try to run things. Yes, you have a say. Yes, you can come to church. Yes, you can go work in the workplace. Yes, you could be a CEO. Yes, you could be whatever you want to be, but you got to respect the space. Like in my house, I don't care what you doing who you are. When you come in here, there's rules. You can't come in my house smoking weed. You can't come in my house thinking that you're gonna turn my rooms into a hotel room. It's not going to work that way. It's not going to work that way. So people have rules, and even though the government be legislating all this craziness, guess what? You still have rule over your house. What goes on in your house? The government can't tell you, and this is the thing. This is why we got to get off the teat of the government, because if we keep relinquishing power to the government will be able to tell us what we can say, what we can think, what we should eat, all that. They're already trying to do that now. When you have what they're saying that basically your child at school can go to school as Randy, that's your son's name. But if he feels like he's Sandy, that the teacher has the right to call your child Sandy without coming to talk to you and say, hey, I was talking to Randy and he told me to call him Sandy. Are you aware of that? But you just go let the teachers make a decision without the parents knowing what's going on, or you want to put these kids on hormone blockers and all this other stuff. And I'm tripping because even when I was reading, and I'm gonna share it with you guys, is that when I was reading it within the order that President Biden signed for Gay Pride Month, he was saying that Pete Buttigieg was the first transportation secretary, I believe, and then we have Rachel Levine, the one that was married with children. Then in his late years, like Caitlyn Jenner did, Bruce Jenner did, want to say, "Oh, now I'm a woman," and then you want to push this. And I can't believe that the Senate, and I understand that the conservatives don't really have that much power because they're 50-50, but somebody had to agree to confirm her to be in there. And I'm not saying that you can have your space. If she would have came, or they, or whatever you want to call them, if Mr. Levine would have came into that space and just did their job and not try to push an agenda, nobody would have had anything to say. Nobody. You don't hear a bunch of women going around here just hollering, I'm straight, and you don't hear a lot of men just running around saying they're straight. It show up in their actions. It show up in what they choose to do in their life. So these things right here, we got to understand what's really going on. Now, let me go here about the rainbow. It says, what does a rainbow mean? It says, God put a rainbow in the sky as a covenant and a promise to remind his people that he would never destroy all mankind with water again. The rainbow is also a symbol of God's faithfulness and mercy. Now we have the gay pride flag, and I'm gonna show it to you right here. This is their flag. If you look at the flag, it has 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 colors, right? The real rainbow has 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it has 7 colors. But if you notice, the number 6 is the number of man. So man is saying, I'm going to usurp the way God put it out here, and we're going to do it our way. And it's a mockery of God. No, God is not going to destroy the world with water. That's a promise that he made. And every time it rained and the sun hit the right way, you see that promise being fulfilled. He's not going to destroy the world with water this time, but the next time will be fire. And so it's nothing to be proud about. It's nothing to be proud about. The Bible says that the wicked is exalted, or evil is exalted, when the wicked struts about proudly. When they run around proudly and they feel like they're winning and we getting everything we want. Go back and read the Gay Manifesto that was put out there in 1987. And I will put in the link below. I will put it down there because a lot of people don't know. And they said it was going to infiltrate every area of our lives. They're doing it. And the reason why they're doing it, because we're playing along to get along. You don't want a robber or intruder to come in your house and rob you. What is happening now with this LGBTQ movement, in my opinion, is that it's robbing people of being able to further humanity. It's really going against when the Lord say, be fruitful and multiply. And this is the funny thing about it, is that most of the people that are gay or whatever the case may be, they still got to do it God's way if they want to have a child. You got to have that egg and sperm. It's got to happen. It's got to happen. And I know they come out here with this fool just saying, well, a transgender man had a baby. That's bull crap. They still had ovaries. They still have fallopian tubes, all that stuff. So that's why that person that deems himself a man was able to give birth. Ain't on no man on earth, not one, that had testicles and all that, never been able to birth the baby and never will. There's just some things God just not going to allow. So I'm just saying this gay pride thing. Let me show you this real quick so we can kind of wrap this video up because it's going a little longer than I actually anticipated. But let me go here to some stats real quick. Let me share my screen. Let me go here. Is it pulled up? Let me see. I think we have it here. Let me share the screen with you real quick. Let me make it bigger so y'all can see. Okay, so this is as of May 15 through July 15, 2019. This is during the Gay Pride Month. It says there was 14 homicides. 14, but y'all care about people living and you care about their space. You want to do what you do what you do. But it was 14 homicides. It says that there was 2 fatalities in detention. So when these people got arrested or whatever the case may be, they went in there and then there was actually people killed in prison. There's so many other are killed in detention. When we look at these things right here like this, we have to take in consideration what's really going on. So you have people that really vehemently go against their lifestyle, and some of them, instead of doing it with a sober mind and try to handle it differently, they equate themselves or they lower themselves to violence, which again, I don't approve of. Now, if you come into my personal space and you're trying to infringe on my rights, then you have a right to defend myself. Now, but you go into their space where they're doing their parade or whatever, and you cause violence, I think that's a problem. That's just my opinion. Let people be them. Let them do what they do. If you want to be a Ku Klux Klan member, as long as y'all have y'all meetings, if I go to y'all meeting and then y'all beat me up or they beat me up, then guess what's going to happen? That's my fault because I shouldn't have went in their space. But if they come to my space, I have a right to defend myself. We got to start using our brain more than a hat rack. On God. For real. So just wanted to share that with you. Now I'm going to share this with you with the Biden, as I call it. The Biden administration has come out with this proclamation and came out with this, to the world. And I will put the link below as well, so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. Let's put this up here. Share this. Make it bigger. Okay, there we go. So this is what he put on the White House, thing. And like I said, I just got an excerpt of it here because I'm screen sharing and I'm just have it in a certain place. But I just want y'all to read here where it says nearly 14% of my agency, this is Biden talking, appointees identify as LGBTQ+. And I'm particularly honored by the service of the Transportation Secretary, Pete Buttigieg, the first openly gay LGBT person to serve in the cabinet, and Assistant Health Secretary Dr. Rachel Ricky Levine, the first openly transgender person to be confirmed in the House. Now, again, what you do and how you do it makes a difference. It makes a difference. So we see this foolishness going on, and I call it foolishness because it is. As the Bible said, there's a way that seems right unto man, but at the end of that thing is death. And then the Bible said a lot of people have become so wise that they became fools. So they think they're doing something great, but yet and still they're becoming fools. We have things like this that's targeting the kids. Cereal. Grown folk, we can decipher, but we have things like this going on. But I'm going to tell you this. For everything in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life comes not from the Father, but of the world. So when you see all these people running around here talking about pride and the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eye, this did not come from the Father in heaven. This came from the world. This is the world's mindset. The world mindset said, be proud of yourself. Be proud of your accomplishments. I'm not saying that, but don't be so proud to where you make everybody else feel bad because they haven't accomplished what you accomplished. Don't be so prideful to where if you need help that you won't reach out and ask for help. You don't have to die in silence. I'm telling you that now. You don't have to hurt in silence. You can use your voice. And as I said, and the thing why God put the rainbow in the sky was because he wanted to give a sign as his faithfulness and his mercy. And I'm gonna share this with you, man. We've seen it before, a double rainbow. God want to give us a double portion of his grace, of his mercy, if we receive it. And you can't get saved by a president. You can't get saved by your pastor. You can't get saved by doing everything constitutionally correct. How you get saved and make sure that your life is solidified, that after you leave this body, that you have a relationship with Christ and that you will live with him forever, is by admitting I'm a sinner, by admitting I'm wrong, God, you're right. That pride thing won't even let you admit you're wrong. You know how many wars and how many marriages could have been saved if somebody would have released pride and said, I was wrong? Nobody wants to do that. That's why I say pride is not a good thing. I don't care. It's just happened to be I'm talking about gay pride in this particular conversation, but pride overall is bad. It's bad. You got so many men that they won't work at McDonald's and live and work an honest living. You got some women that won't work at Walmart and make an honest living. They'd rather sell their body. You got men that will rather sell drugs, end up in the system that they hope that, especially men of color and women of color, they want you in that system. But yet and still, every 2 to 4 years, they're crying about how much they love and care about you. That's why the BLM organization, I don't fool with them. Anybody that want to destroy the nuclear family, I cannot support. Anybody that want to push this LGBTQ movement on people, I mean, like basically make them feel like they're the worst thing on earth because they don't accept that movement, I have a problem with. I believe one thing that God has given every man is freedom of choice. He's given everybody free will. So when you have man trying to enforce their will on you, that's not right. So I'm not trying to enforce anybody to live for Christ. I'm not trying to, you better do this. It's all a choice. And you have a choice to listen to what I'm saying, or you have a choice to ignore it. I think that ex-homosexual voices matter. And until we start speaking up and start speaking truth to power, this is going to continue to happen. I don't want to see this continue to happen in the community where they're just constantly, infiltrating places and making things change to where it's not good for humanity. We always want to holler about humanity, but yet and still, this is one of the most destructive ways of humanity that I've ever seen. When you got your men that would not procreate with women, that's going to break down the population. Them grandkids that you want to have that carry your name and your bloodline, that's not going to happen. And if it does, it still got to be done the right way. So again, choose you this day who you go serve. It's going to be God. It's going to be man. It's going to be money. It's going to be pride. Whatever it is, you have a choice. And that's why I put my voice out here and I put my face out here. I don't talk behind no nothing. I do change my backgrounds a lot because I kind of like them, like doing that. But at the same time, I'm going to be a voice for the voiceless. I'm going to speak out for those that have been molested and don't know what to do and they're confused about their sexuality. I've been there. I understand. But I understand this is when I don't understand something, I don't lean to my own understanding anymore. I go to God and ask him to make sense of it. And if I be patient and wait, in due time, he always does. So all these people running around here with this pride, thinking that they mocking God. I'm going to tell you, the Bible says in Galatians 6:9, I believe it says, be not deceived. God is not mocked. Whatever a man sow, they're going to reap. And when it says man, mankind, whatever you sow is coming back. You know that universal law, they say what goes around comes around. Now, if you're up front and you telling people what you do and how you get down, and that person accepts that, then that's fine. But when you have people trying to deceive people and try to get them in something that they're not wanting to do, or you molest them, and you have these pedophiles that cross the wires in these kids, and then they make a decision that now is being accepted in a way, and they'll realize that what looks like it's helping you is actually hurting you, and eventually will kill you. As one of my good acquaintances said to me, whatever is not healthy is killing you. So I'm just telling you this now. Learn to love people where they are. Rome wasn't built in a day. You wasn't born in a day. So you have to give people time to change, but you got to love them enough to tell them the truth. And they can either receive that truth or they can reject that truth, but that choice will be theirs. So again, do me a favor. I'm wrapping this up. Like, share, comment, subscribe. And again, I thank you for everything. This is another episode of Keeping It a Buck. Stay up and stay blessed. Peace.